For a little while, it seemed like survival games were gonna be that next big genre in the gaming world. However, with the advent of the battle royale genre, it seems like survival games have taken a little bit of a backseat. But there are still a lot of exciting survival titles coming to the PlayStation 4 in the near future. And in this video, we want to take a look at 7 upcoming PlayStation 4 survival games that you need to have your eyes on. Without further ado, let's get right into this. First, we have a PlayStation 4 exclusive that's been in development for quite a while, and that's Wild. Wild is set during the prehistoric Neolithic period, approximately 10,000 to 2500 BC, and it's set in a procedurally generated world of infinite size. You play as a human, however, this game has actually seen a lot of comparisons to Far Cry Primal in that your character, who is a shaman, and use other animals to support him in the world, actually controlling those animals and possessing the animal, and the gameplay is altered depending on what animal you're controlling. Of course, depending on what animal you're possessing, different skills and characteristics will be present to you. Wild is a pretty exciting game. It's been in development for quite a while, so hopefully we see it sooner rather than later.
Now that the area is safe, I can finally reach the sacred sanctuary.
Next up, we have one of the most controversial survival games in history, probably the most controversial, and that is DayZ. DayZ was a game that originally started as a mod for the PC title Arma 2, but then it was eventually released on Steam as DayZ standalone, and even to this day, it still remains in early access, and it is quite a buggy game. DayZ is expected to come to the PlayStation 4, and what it is a gritty, authentic open-world survival horror title. It's very dark, very atmospheric, and if they can get this game running at some point on the PlayStation 4 and it's smooth enough where it's playable, it can be a high-quality experience. Now, the only issue is we need to get to the point where DayZ is actually running at suitable performance on the PC, and then we can worry about the PlayStation 4 version. The PS4 version is confirmed, but at this point, who knows it's going to be coming. I'm hoping that we just see the game at some point because DayZ does have a lot of potential. It's kind of sad that the potential has gone a little bit wasted because this was one of the most popular games in all of gaming just a few years ago. Next up, we have Praey for the Gods. This is a game that's gotten quite a bit of attention because it's seen comparisons to titles such as Shadow of the Colossus, and Shadow of the Colossus is of course heralded as one of the best games of all time. Praey for the Gods obviously has its survival elements going on for it, and in the game you play as a character that'll start off her journey on a frozen island without any equipment whatsoever. In this world, you need to find items, survive dynamically generated weather, and climb onto massive bosses in order to defeat them. Now you can see where the SOTC comparisons were coming in. On top of fighting these bosses though, the game is obviously going to have its survival elements, such as an exhaustion system that you'll have to rest to restore, you'll have to manage your hunger, cold, stamina, etc. And throughout the game, you'll find campfires that can help refill your health and reduce exhaustion. Praey for the Gods is a very exciting game. Hopefully it's released by 2018's end. Next up, we have The Forest. Now, The Forest is already a survival title with some recognition behind it. The PC full version is out, and it's received a really solid reception. The game itself has you survive in a forested peninsula after a plane crash, during which a cannibal is seen taking the player's son away. You need to survive by creating shelter, weapons, and other survival tools. Inhabiting the island along with various woodland creatures are a tribe of nocturnal cannibalistic mutants who obviously want to end you, but they're not necessarily always hostile to the player. However, they are typically aggressive, especially during the night, so you'll have to manage that. This is a game that, as long as it makes a solid transition over to the PlayStation 4 in terms of performance and controls, it's gonna be a good game, and we should see the forest on the PS4 before year's end. Next up is a game that's recently been getting quite a bit of attention thanks to a new cinematic gameplay trailer, and that is World War Z. World War Z is a cooperative-focused survival title, 4 players to be exact, and it's a very zombie-centric survival game. Now, that may sound a little bit generic on the surface, but World War Z actually does have a lot of positive going on for it. It touts unique survivor stories and missions around the globe, including New York, Moscow, and Jerusalem, and that's one of the emphases in this game, to provide a variety of different locales so the environments are always a little bit fresh. The gameplay itself looks very fluid, and it does give you a little bit of a Left 4 Dead vibe, which is great. We never saw that franchise on any PlayStation platform, so to get something similar to that would be very much appreciated. Now, of course, PlayStation 4 owners don't have their shortage of zombie titles. We do have DayZ Gone coming next year, and while on the surface World War Z and DayZ Gone look a little bit similar, they're actually very different games, so don't worry about that. World War Z looks to be its own unique experience.
Good to go up here.
Mindset. That should hold.
Father, forgive us. We shed this blood in the name of mercy.
Next up, we have a survival game that not a lot of gamers are talking about, and that is Fade to Silence. Fade to Silence is already in early access on PC, and it has you take the role of Ash, a natural but tormented leader. You explore a post-apocalyptic frozen wasteland to gather the resources necessary to establish a refugee for survival. In the game's world, there's a dwindling amount of resources, so simple tasks like even upgrading equipment and collecting materials quickly require an expedition to scavenge the necessary items. The Frost theme setting is a nice change of pace compared to a lot of other survival games. Praey for the Gods does have a similar setting going on for it as well, and freezing temperatures always take their toll on the player, and you could even get hit by a blizzard. And it's doubted if you're caught by surprise, it takes every ounce of skill, determination, and luck to survive. And finally, the PS4 will also be seeing its release of Subnautica. Subnautica is already a widely acclaimed survival title. It's set underwater in an open world environment. It's a first-person survival game, and you play as a lone survivor of a crashed spaceship called the Aurora, and you're on a fictional ocean planet 4546b. The ship's wreckage explodes shortly after starting the game, and that point onward you can explore the entire world. Subnautica has turned out to be a very competent experience on PC that's a very fleshed out survival game. It has a lot of diversity diversity in its gameplay. And considering that it's underwater, you'll have to maintain nutrition, hydration, and oxygen, and there's even a day and night cycle which affects the gameplay and the surroundings. The game has a wide variety of different modes catering to different playstyles, so again, there's a lot of diversity in how this game is presented, and this is another title like The Forest. As long as it makes a smooth transition over to the PlayStation 4, this is gonna be a good game. The developers did say they want to get Subnautica out on the PlayStation 4 before 2018's end, but who knows, this might end up being a 2019 title.
Data on unusual phenomena.
Shouldn't have gone so deep.
So that wraps up 7 upcoming survival games on the PlayStation 4. What do you think? Are you still into survival games, or is this a genre that you have gone disinterested in? Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.